Good morning. Today I'm going to tell you something about separation of substances. Why do we separate substances from a mixture? We usually separate a substance from a mixture of substances because maybe one of the components is not needed, not useful, like when we remove unwanted particles from grains. Sometimes we make use of a strainer to separate the solid components like tea leaves from tea. Salt can be separated from seawater, so also the impurities present in the salt can be removed by the process of evaporation or crystallization. Now, you must have seen this at home that your mother makes use of the cream and separates by the process of churning. She separates butter from buttermilk. Butter, is makhan. Buttermilk is your charge. Then, if the size of the particles is large enough, you can simply make use of the hand and remove the non-useful components or harmful substances. Like in a dish of poha, you must have seen that sometimes you remove the chilies by hand. In given in a given basket of fruits, you can easily separate the guava and mangoes simply by hand picking. Then we have the sifter. You must have seen in the kitchen that when your mother is going to prepare dough, she uses a sifter, a sieve, and separates large particles of flour from smaller ones. In this activity, there are three columns. First column is the process of separation being used, the purpose why we carry out this process, and what are the separated components. I have solved it for you. In the separation of stones from the rice, we have to remove impurities or harmful components. We throw away the impurities. Second, churning the curd to obtain butter. We will separate two different but useful components. In both the components, butter and buttermilk are useful, and we use both the components. The third one, separate the tea leaves. To remove non-useful components like the tea leaves from the tea, we throw away the solid component. Hand picking, as you all know, that we make use of hand picking if the particles are large enough and can easily be removed by hand. As you can see in this figure, they are making use of hand to remove husk, stone, or maybe separate the fruits. Threshing. After the harvesting of crops, many bundles of wheat or paddy stalks are seen lying in the fields. The stalks are dried in the sun before the grain is separated from the threshing. Each stalk has many grains. बहुत सारे grains होते हैं एक stalk पे, and उनको separate करना पड़ेगा तो बड़ा मुश्किल होगा. हाथ से उसको चुनना निकालना टाइम लगेगा. And as there are going to be hundreds of these stalks, we can separate the grains from the stalks by simply beating them. The process used is known as threshing, and in this we can make use of bullocks or machines. Winnowing. Sometimes you must have seen that there are grains and husk. To separate grains from husk, grains are heavy, husks are lighter. We can make use of the process of winnowing, as you can see in this picture, by simply making use of a soup in which we will keep the grains and make use of the wind. This process in which heavier particles are separated from lighter particles and the lighter particles are blown off by wind and they collect further away is known as winnowing. Sieving. You must have seen in the kitchen that your mother makes use of a sieve and she separates the large flour particles from the smaller ones. Then we have the making use of the sieve in places of construction where pebbles, stones are separated from sand. You can see over here that we made use of a sieve to separate the particles. Thank you.